Okay, so have you ever wondered how your body keeps going even when you really push into the limit?
Yeah, totally.
Like how do your muscles get the fuel they need when you're sprinting for the bus or trying to, power through that last set at the gym?
It's amazing what the body can do.
Right. And today we are diving into one of those amazing systems. It's called the Cori cycle.
The Cori cycle.
It's this fascinating pathway that helps our bodies recycle fuel during intense exercise.
Yeah, I'd always found this one really interesting. It's such an elegant solution to a pretty big problem.
Yeah, and to help us break it all down, we're going to be using this YouTube video from Metabolism Made Easy.
Oh, yeah, they do a great job of explaining complex stuff in a way that actually makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So the video starts off by talking about lactate.
Yeah.
That burn you feel in your muscles when you're working out hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's lactate buildup.
Right. That's your muscles saying, hey, I need more oxygen.
So what happens to all that lactate? Does it just hang out in your muscles, making them sore?
Well, it does contribute to muscle soreness, but it doesn't just stay there. It gets released into the bloodstream and travels to the liver.
Oh, so the liver is the detox center for lactate.
You could say that, yeah, the liver is like the body's main processing center. It filters the blood, removes toxins, and plays a key role in metabolism.
So what does the liver do with all that lactate?
Well, the liver has this amazing enzyme called lactate dehydrogenase.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a mouthful.
So what does this lactate dehydrogenase do?
It converts the lactate back into pyruvate.
Okay, so lactate becomes pyruvate, and why is that important?
Well, pyruvate is like a key intermediate in metabolism. It can be used for a bunch of different things, including making glucose.
Wait, so our bodies can turn lactate back into glucose. Isn't that going backwards?
It does seem kind of counterintuitive, right? But it's actually a brilliant adaptation. This process is called gluconeogenesis, and it's essentially the reverse of glycolysis.
Okay, so remind me what glycolysis is again.
Glycolysis is how our bodies break down glucose for energy.
Right, so gluconeogenesis is like building glucose back up.
Exactly. It's like recharging the battery.
So the liver takes lactate, turns it into pyruvate, and then uses that to make glucose through gluconeogenesis.
Right, and then that newly made glucose is released back into the bloodstream.
So it can travel back to the muscles and be used for energy. It's like a round-trip ticket for glucose.
Exactly. It's a continuous loop. Muscles use glucose, produce lactate liver, turns it back into glucose, and sends it back to the muscles.
That's so cool, but it seems like a lot of work, doesn't it? Isn't gluconeogenesis energy intensive?
It is, yeah, but the Cori cycle is still really efficient, especially when your muscles need energy fast, like when you're sprinting or lifting heavy weights.
Makes sense. So it's like a backup system for when our muscles need a quick energy boost.
Exactly. And it also helps to regulate our body's pH balance.
pH balance.
Yeah, when lactate builds up, it can make your blood more acidic, which can interfere with muscle function.
Oh, so the Cori cycle helps to prevent that from happening.
Exactly. By converting lactate back to glucose, it helps to buffer the acidity and keep things balanced.
Wow. So the Cori cycle isn't just about energy. It's about keeping our whole system in check.
Precisely. And this balance is important not just for athletes, but for anyone, really.
Yeah, I mean, think about our ancestors. They were constantly running from predators or chasing after prey. They needed a way to keep their energy levels up and their bodies in balance.
Exactly. The Cori cycle was essential for their survival.
That's fascinating. So our bodies have this ancient built-in mechanism for dealing with intense situations, even if that situation is just trying to catch the bus on time.
Uh-huh, exactly.
But is the Cori cycle always a good thing? I mean, would there be any downsides to this process?
Well, like any biological process, it has its limits. I mean, if someone is over-reliant on the Cori cycle, particularly if they have certain metabolic disorders, it could potentially lead to problems like lactic acidosis.
So like anything else, moderation is key.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Understanding how the Cori cycle works can help us optimize our performance and our health.
For sure. So for our listeners out there who are now thinking about all the lactate swirling around their bodies, what's the one thing they should remember about the Cori cycle?
That it's a great example of how adaptable our bodies are. It's this incredible system that helps us keep going, even when we push ourselves to the limit.
And by learning more about it, we can unlock new ways to improve our well-being.
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to wrap up.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a fascinating deep dive into the Cori cycle.
It's been my pleasure. Always happy to talk about this stuff.
All right, everyone. Until next time, keep those metabolic wheels turning.
And keep learning.